Today I'm going to introduce the newly updated segments function in the new Adobe Analytics. So here where it says show segments is where we can segment the audience for whatever report suite we're looking at. In this case we're looking at VOA English all sites. So if we click on show segments, it's showing us right here we're only looking at VOA English all sites. If we uncheck this box, we can see the other segments that are possible down here. So if we look at the social referrers one, this I over here, click on it and it'll show us a little bit about this segment. So it's telling us that this is a visit when referrer type equals social networks. And so it's also telling us here how many page views, visits, and unique visitors we have if we apply this segment to the data we have. So we can get a little bit of an overview before we use it. So let's go ahead and click on it and apply the segment. So now we're looking at the VOA English site. However, we're looking at it for only visits to the site when the referrer is a social network. So to remove that one, we can click on the X and it'll go back to all visits to the VOA English report suite. The biggest functionality that they've added in the new version of Adobe is the ability to create segments. So if we click here on create new segment, we can do this. In the previous version we could create segments, but they were a little clunky and you could only apply them to one report suite at a time. Now when we do them, we can build them and apply them to all report suites once they're approved. So here we have our options. So up here we have hide dimensions. It's showing us this is for custom traffic variables. So any of these over here we can apply. So we could use, for instance, days since last visit, and you drag it in here. And then the show, we use either visitor, visit, or hit. And so in this case, we'd probably want to use visitor. And now it's going to show us, oh, we lost everything. And that's because we have no value here. And so let's change this equals to less than, and we'll do 3. And see what that gives us. There we go. So now we can see how many page views, visits, and unique visitors are 3 days, less than 3 days since their last visit. And so we'd want to give this a name, days since last visit, less than 3. And so when we're done, we'd click on the save button and we'd have a new segment. So let's get rid of this one. We can also do by events. So these would be your custom conversion variables. And so then again, they're over here on the left, and we can apply these just like we did on the other one. And so if we find a good one here, we can do, we'll say page views. We'll drop that in the box. This time let's apply a visit to this though. And we'll say we want to look at visits where page views are greater than 7. So this will give us how many visits with page views greater than 7. And there we have it. 15% page views greater than 7, 1% of visits are all. And so again, we would want to give this a name, page views greater than 7. And probably visits with. And if you wish, you can give it a description here as well. And again, when you're done, you can click save. I mentioned we can share the segments, and the way we do that is by going to the show segments and segment manager. And so in here it's going to show us a list of all the segments we have. And so here I have one that I created. It's visits greater than 2 minutes. So if we click in the box, it gives us all these options of things we can do here. I can rename it, delete, etc. What I want to do is share it. And so I can share this either across report suites here, or groups of report suites. So here's a list of all these. Or I can actually give it to individual users. And the way I do that is just by clicking in the box and clicking share. And so this way, if you've created something, not everybody has to do it, you can distribute it to groups or individuals. And then, as I mentioned, share it across that way. And so that's essentially how you create segments in the new tool. It offers a lot more functionality than the previous version, and also that you can apply it to multiple report suites instead of just the one that you're working on now.